Greetings, family. Education as we know it was something that was figured out by some American guy called Rockefeller. And it was something that was created to check out workers. But we are not talking about like direct education. We want to talk about our history. For Africa, because our handwriting, our scripts, most of our African countries, every micronation had their own script, their own way of writing their histories and all that. But when the colonizers came, they made sure that they destroyed all that, banned all that, so that they can rewrite a history that shows an African as someone very primitive, someone who didn't know what they were before, someone who never had a history or something like that. That is what is being taught in Africa. We don't get to learn about Mansa Musa, the biggest empires and kingdoms of Africa, but some place like Ethiopia, because Ethiopia were not colonized, so they have kept their scripts. They have all that history even in Wikipedia. This goes to even in the United States. There's this video of Trump being interviewed and was saying that he's going to defund schools that teach slavery.
Take the Department of Education, close it. I'm going to close it. We'll have one person, could be you if you decide to retire.
Okay, Mr. President, here's what bothers me about that. So let's say you have a liberal city, let's Los Angeles, San Diego, and they just decide we're going to get rid of that history. We got new history. This is America built off the backs of slaves on stolen land. And that curriculum comes in.
Then we don't send them money. We would save half of our budget, and we're going to send. But if they want to do that,
because you do lose control when you go low.
We've lost control. We're number 40. We're last on the list. Okay. We're the worst there is, and we spend more money than.
So I looked at the comments under this video, and our brothers and sisters in the US were like, yes, it's even better, because if those people are teaching us history, it means it's not our history. They only teach our children to feel inferior and their children to feel superior, which I think it's true. One thing is, they won't teach about those very beautiful histories of our slaves fighting the slave keepers, slaves running away, slaves, establishing a city like Tulsa, Tulsa, and all that, like my brother always tells us. So that is the same thing that is in Africa. So in Africa, we get this history that we don't even know if it's true. We can get bits written by our people, but before then, nothing is known. Comes in the president of Niger, Abdurrahman Tiani. Abdurrahman Tiani has just signed a decree saying that he is going to effect the writing or rewriting of the general history of Niger. So Niger decolonizes its history, and he has already formed a committee tasked with rewriting the past. So the head of state of Niger, General Abdurrahman Tiani, has signed a decree establishing an ad hoc committee tasked with rewriting the country's general history, the current version of which is largely inspired by colonial history. See, and when we talk about the Sahel, we had these big empires, the Mali Empire, the Dahomey, that is in Nigeria. Like, we had big empires going back to the years 1500s, 1400s, 1200s, and they need to relocate and rewrite this history, because countries like Chad or Mali in Timbuktu, they have the oldest libraries, and I'm wishing that they still have, so that they can use this to rewrite what they teach their children in schools. What do you think?
I think it's a beautiful one. We've always been advocating for such, and it seems like Africa, it's something that will never happen unless you liberate yourself totally from the enslavers. Otherwise, for countries like the AES, it is something that we expect them to do, because they have the liberty, they are free, they can do it, they have the will, they have the way forward, the way to, the way how. And I can just imagine the history of the AES, even beginning from the era where these three guys took over. the beautiful history that will be written by the Burkinabés, by the Malians and the Nigerians. It's just going to be beautiful history that in the next 20, 30 years, the younger generation at that time will look back and say, wow, these are the Thomas Sankaras of our time, of our forefathers' times. They really did good for our people. And this is why we are where we are, because these three men took it out, even if Maika was, saying this guy is not experienced. He persevered through, he did it, he worked for his people. For Traore, despite the elimination efforts that they have tried, his life is a scary movie. He still continues to, serve his people. And I think it's going to be the best thing to watch. They should also make movies, movies by their own AES citizens. It's going to be beautiful to watch and to some of these movies, and I have a problem with some of these movies. When you look at your Shaka Ilembe from South Africa, a story about Shaka Zulu, yes, it does depict the victory of this Shaka guy. It does depict the strength of the Black African man, the South African, Zulu guy. But there is some distortion that is always done for the narrative to go towards a certain way. Netflix also has a role. They are trying to give something to their audience. At the end of the day, they
especially the LGTB+.
Exactly. So some of these things are bombarded to us from nowhere. You see, in a movie, these two guys are now.
Yeah, and
do you wonder where is this coming from?
In African culture, this was wrong.
It is wrong.
But you find now it's happening, and they're telling you that's your history.
You see?
That is the problem. I remember last year, Traore talking to the kids. And he was talking about changing the education system.
Yes, they even have their books.
So guys, when you see something happening in Niger, it's already happening in Burkina and in Mali. Yeah. I'm sure there are other committees, ad hoc committees, rewriting the history. And because I've told you about Muktu, which you should visit in the future and see these beautiful things, the history of those people is there. And I'm sure this is what they'll be learning. The history that they've been learning is the French came and they colonized us, they helped us, they saved us.
Please go to Southern Africa and
But what we'll be learning is these people came and stole our thing. It should be the real history, not the narratives.
They discovered Victoria Falls. Where were we? Where were our ancestors? And this guy said, hey, brothers and sisters, let us know what you think about this. Are you excited for this movie? If you're in the US, what is this that Trump is really trying to do? Are you excited for it also as much as we are excited for Niger? It's beautiful to see things changing with new leadership, things taking shape the way people would wish them to take shape. We would like to appeal to you for your support. We are selling Sahel hats. One costs for $50. We have the information in the description box down below. If you'd love to purchase one, just click on the link and you'll be taken to our shop. We want to appreciate all of those who have already placed their orders. They are on their way. Our brothers and sisters in the US, some of you are complaining that you are not able to purchase. Please click on the link, and if you are not, contact us on the number on the screen and we'll be able to deliver everything to you. If you'd also like to support us, we have Buy Me a Coffee link also in the description box. We also have Super Thanks, Super Chat. We also have, the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed, that is the best support also we appreciate. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.